Yeah.
Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Hanging in this weather?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's like mid-April. It's still snowing outside.
You'd think it changed by now, right?
Yeah, I expected to have the kids out in the park by now, but I'm still stuck inside some days.
Do you have any plans for the weekend?
This weekend we're gonna go down to the local YMCA. We're gonna look about swim lessons for the spring.
Cool.
Maybe see if
Fun.
we can get the kids signed
Okay.
up.
And they have the indoor and outdoor pool, right? You'll
Yeah.
probably be stuck in the indoor
Probably
one
for a
until
while.
the weather changes.
But I was hoping summer we could get some swim lessons in outdoor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So last time we spoke, we kind of just discussed what we wanted to focus on, and that was the food and clothing assistance. We're still on that track for right now? Cool.
Absolutely.
So, and then we last discussed about the want or kind of just the desire to maybe give back. So we were thinking about local parishes and local food pantries, soup kitchens, stuff like that.
Yeah, I actually. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
I actually talked to my neighbor recently and did a little research on my own after.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah, and we talked about St. John's has a food and clothing drive.
Yes.
I believe it's the first Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had heard about that a little bit before, but I totally forgot the dates and everything. So it was a really helpful reminder.
Oh, cool. And does
yeah.
your neighbor, does she work there? Does she volunteer?
Yeah, she tries to do a couple Sundays out of the year.
Oh,
Obviously,
awesome.
some months get busy, but she's told me like her experience with this. That was helpful to hear firsthand. Someone who had volunteered there.
Oh, nice. So you have someone that's there too.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. I love to hear that. So since we last met, has anything changed? Has anything come up? Where are we at right now?
Things have been really good recently. My husband got a little bit of a promotion.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about that.
He's right now overseeing and training all the summer workers.
Okay.
They're planning to do something with the bridges downtown, and he's going to oversee that project. So that was a bit of a promotion for him.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So you must be happy about that.
Yeah, we're super happy. That was definitely
what you needed.
really positive moment in our family. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And how are the kids?
They're good. Yeah, they're in school. They're
ready to get ready for spring and summer.
They're getting anxious about. They're not used to this. It's still being cold, but we have our small victories here and there.
Cool. And how's your sister doing?
She's good. One thing that's changed with her, she recently started doing the night shifts at the hospital.
Oh, neat. Okay.
She had never done that before, but she said that the pay is a little bit better when you do those hours. So she was worried.
It's tough hours, too.
Yeah, if it would be too much on me. But I mean, the kids are sleeping. I can just have them all over to my place, or I can spend the night there when I'm watching the kids.
Oh, this really works out.
So,
do you mind if I'm just going to take note of that? Cool.
Absolutely. So it worked out, and in turn for that, she increased my pay a little bit.
Oh, this is great. This is all great news.
Yeah, so between my husband's mini promotion and the new pay with my sister, it was like a total weight lifted off my shoulders. It was really some positive moments.
You must feel really relieved.
Yeah, it was a lot of blessings coming my way, for sure.
And how's she feeling about those shifts?
I think she's getting used to them. Definitely an adjustment period, but she loves the new paycheck, and she's just, adjusting to her new hours, but she's really happy that she took the opportunity to do that and that things finally aligned. I think she had been wanting to try it for a while, and the situation wasn't
And the kids are older, like you said, too, now. So.
Yeah, so.
And your children get along really well with them.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They
They're
probably
like
think
best
it's a giant sleepover.
Oh, every time. They're like, sleepover, and I'm like, it's a school night. But they get
that's
so
great.
excited, so excited.
Oh, you seem like in a better state. You seem really happy with that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear for that.
Really worked out well.
Great. All right, cool. So on the plan for today, we're going to go through, so this is a service plan. Something we just got to do. We're going to talk about the problems at hand. So what we already discussed was the food and clothing assistance. Would you say that that's definitely still a problem for right now?
Yes. Like I said before, obviously we're not starving or, on the streets freezing, but it's just that little extra help that something like a parish food drive or clothes drive could help.
Okay. Yep, sounds good. And then I was just trying to think of a second one, and I remember last time we spoke was just the stress level with maybe kind of keeping it away from your family. And I remember you mentioning that your parents were down south in Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's a lot because you're also a member there too, and you don't really want it to get out. So what are we thinking? Where do we stand with that right now?
I am just stressed. I do feel if my sister were to find out I've been meeting with you or what the plan is, she would then go back to day shifts. And she's really enjoying it right now, and I don't want her to think that because of that switch that I came to you, because obviously I met with you before that happened.
Yeah.
I just don't want her to think that she took this step in her career and now
it's changed.
all of a sudden this is a need, because it has been for a while. So I still have some anxieties and stress about that.
Which is normal. I mean, it's definitely a lot to take in, and this is a big step for her career, and this is also big for you too. As much as it's a night shift, you also got to get ready and showers, baths, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So
all right, so we'll just kind of see how those two go right now.
Yeah, and I mean, my friend, my neighbor Karen goes, and I don't think people assume that she needs anything. I think they all assume that she's volunteering and giving back. So I think hearing from her firsthand account kind of helps limit that anxiety that if I were to go and volunteer, I mean, why would anybody think any different? Because they do need volunteers, and so that does help a little bit to hear from someone who's
and you can
give
back. So as much as you want to do your shift of volunteering, we can also think about maybe implementing some volunteer work behind that as well, and then you could take a few things home. And it's great because at St. John's, because I have my list too by the parishes we put together, but at St. John's is really great because it's adult clothing as well as children, which is really awesome. Yeah. So before we go through our goals and stuff, which is the next portion of the service plan, I'll just tell you about a few of the parishes that we said we were going to talk about. So you beat me to it on St. John's, so good research. But that is, the first Sunday of every month. And that's adult and clothing, and it gives out canned foods, local fresh produce, the whole 9 yards. And then Elizabeth Ann Seton, which is right in the town over in Yorktown, does the same exact thing, but it's just a clothing drive. So it's just clothing, there's no food or anything, but maybe good for just the spring, and even summer coming, it might be helpful too. And then they have a park right next door to it. So I also looked on the bus lines, and it's right there. You kind of get off and you hop right on.
Bus line?
Yeah, so that's really helpful. I know that connects to your bus line as well. And then Temple Beth Shalom's right in town, which is in walking distance from where you are on Main Street, whether you're on West or East. Main Street. So that's in walking distance as well.
Is that food and clothing?
Yeah, so that's mainly a food pantry, and in the subsection, like we talked about in our last meeting, has adult and clothing. So it kind of just makes it what you want to make a day out of it, and all of them except volunteer works, and the kids can volunteer too, which I thought would be really interesting for you.
Because I know some churches have, or some parishes have, where either the children can volunteer with you, or if you're volunteering, they have like
mini daycare.
Yeah, like mini daycare while you're volunteering. So I was just curious about that.
So this is, it's kind of just like one big room. So basically the kids can help out as long with it, or they could play with the other children there. So it's really great. So it makes a whole day out of it, and you get the volunteering in, and you get to bring home some fresh clothes for all of you guys.
Perfect.
What do we think about those?
Yeah,
so I minimized it just because it's on that bus line we were talking about.
Yeah, I definitely am between either St. John's, because it has both clothing and food, or I forget the name, the one you mentioned with the
Temple
park
Beth,
next. Yes, because that would also be, you can make a day out of it, volunteer and then go to the park.
Awesome.
But I guess it depends with our schedule, But I'm honestly open. I don't have to go to a specific place. I guess having food and clothing maybe at one stop would be more
easier,
convenient.
more convenient.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then I'm going to put down those two.
Okay.
And then we'll definitely keep Elizabeth Ann Seton in mind, but that's just a fallback.
Yeah, maybe.
So these other two ones we'll keep, and then at our next meeting we'll get the contacts, the resources, and we'll set that up.
Okay, yeah.
So our goals and objectives for this meeting, so if we want to talk about the food and clothing assistance, we just kind of want to have a security on that. So now, where do you feel you are with that level of security?
On a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like the most secure, I'm probably at maybe a 6 right now.
So better than last time we met.
Yeah, great. A little bit better. Just, with my husband's promotion, the extra income, I found a little bit more money at the end of the month to go out and get a new pair of rain boots or stuff like that.
Which you need with this weather.
Exactly, but still could go a little bit more.
Stretch the dollar. All right, so then we're going to put down that just like stable clothing. And then for the food, are we still at a 6 there?
My sister still does contribute by trying to stock our fridge in exchange for childcare, but just with the kids growing, and sometimes when I do have
inside.
And sometimes when I do have the 4 kids sleeping over instead of 2, obviously it's more food to make for meals. So
So we're going to put that down as a goal to kind of get that under wraps as well. And then where would you say we stand with the whole stress of the family?
Probably, if 10 was like the most stress, maybe like a 4.
Okay.
Because definitely some things have helped, getting the promotion and
Yeah.
having extra pay definitely relieves some stress, but still, I'm really happy for my sister, and I am happy with the way things are going.
Yeah.
Even if I feel a little bit of need, I
Mhm.
don't want her to think this is because of her. That fear is still kind of there.
Yeah. Okay.
About
So we're
her
gonna kind
finding
of just
out.
break apart what you want to do, separate from what she thinks is an obligation.
Yeah, I definitely. It's not as high of a stress, but still kind of lingering there.
Okay.
Her finding out.
All right. So I'm gonna write that down really quick. So then, kind of how we just talked about. So the next part of our plan, it's called the action steps. So it's like the
Okay.
information, the text, and the activities in which we can use to utilize and set us to our achieved goals.
Okay.
So what we're going to do from there for the food and clothing, we could basically, if we want to put it in the shortest terms, is start up on the volunteering and
Yes.
start up on the food pantries and stuff. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I would love to.
So we'll get, in a way, enrolled as volunteers.
Yeah, I would love to get started right away. Not even
Okay.
just to get the food and clothing. I mean, I love volunteering. I love giving back. So
Yeah.
I think
Awesome.
it's an awesome opportunity.
So that will be one of our roles as a volunteer.
Okay.
And then I also think a step that you already took was this is a really big promotion. And that's really great for all you guys because he seems really proud of him and you seem really proud as well.
Yeah.
So even just that promotion too, I think we could put down because that's definitely transition from our last meeting to today.
And I'm hoping that if his supervisors can see him managing a team well on this project, maybe would open more doors to other projects, or even maybe
for sure.
In another 6 months, another promotion. Now that they've given him a little responsibility, see how well he does, and maybe could lead to more.
Yeah, definitely. I totally see where you're going with that. And then our action steps for the confidentiality and stress levels. So I think, and we could talk about this right now, what you think is maybe kind of let's just go with the food pantry and see how the volunteering goes. And if you want to bring the kids too, maybe it would also be a fun activity to bring your niece and nephew, as we talked about in the last meeting. So we're not hiding it. I know that you feel uncomfortable with keeping it away from her, but as you said in the last meeting too, it is your life, and you kind of just want to get your feet on the ground, which is totally understandable. And you have her children with you, so it might be a fun day to have the kids all out volunteering and grab a few things on the way out.
Yeah.
Which is only normal. So.
I mean, I think if I told her on a Sunday, or if she's working, or I have the kids, hey, I'm taking, all of them, we're going to go volunteer at the church. I mean, I think she would be thrilled with that. It's great to teach kids to volunteer. I don't think she would think anything of it. So I definitely agree with the plan so far is to start instituting that, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would love to bring my niece and nephew along. I think it'd be great for them, just like I think it'd be great for my kids too.
Yeah. Oh, great. All right. So that really helps. So we're flying through this.
Yeah.
That's good. So then the next question, again, kind of how we just talked about, is how the outcomes will be measured. So for me right now, when I'm looking over this whole entire service plan, I'm kind of thinking they're going to be measured by, let's just see how the volunteering goes. Because you might get there and St. John's might sound really great in theory, and you're just like, oh, this doesn't really fit.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather one where it's just childcare and you could just volunteer by yourself. So I think that you're just going to have to feel them out. And once we feel them out and kind of get into the groove of volunteering, as well as being able to do that whole give and take situation we talked about before, then we'll be able to see exactly how it all panned out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think you're right. I do love volunteering, but sometimes you get to a site and it's just not a great fit for you, and that's okay. So I do think, even though I have high hopes for St. John's, I think you never know until you get there, so we'll see how it goes. And like you said, we had like a fallback option in case we need to make adjustments.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you, so we have our two main churches and temples, and I'm going to also give you additional list of just extra ones.
Yeah.
So even if you can't volunteer and you just have to go to a food pantry, that's accessible as well, too.
Good. That's
because you also, you might not have time to volunteer every single time.
Exactly. So that definitely helps lower my stress to know,
if
I can't make it, maybe one of my kids is sick or I'm sick or something comes up, that there's a couple other options. So I'm not just relying on that. Yep.
So then for our outcomes being measured with the stress, I also think kind of how you mentioned before that we'll just stick to the plan and see and kind of take it as we're volunteering. And it's not that we're hiding anything, but that is what you want to do right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to volunteer, see how it goes, see if you like the selection there. You might not like it. Because I remember we were talking about how you like to make the food.
Yep.
And everything as well. So we'll just kind of see what's the selection, who's volunteering, where are we volunteering, because they might send you different sites or different churches, parishes, all of that. So then for me, I already completed this on my own before you came in, just the anticipated time frame of completion. So the last time I saw you was about 2.5 weeks ago, would you say?
About, yeah.
And let's kind of project for you to get into volunteering based off of your schedule, because I know the kids are in sports and everything that you mentioned, but let's do it, what do you think, in 3 weeks to a month?
Yeah, I think that's
Does that sound good?
Goal. Yeah, so
Perfect.
I don't feel so, not rushed,
Yeah.
but I don't want to put it off either.
Yeah.
I think that would be realistic.
Right, so then you can go through the schedules, because you know it is with the Sunday practice and stuff.
Absolutely.
So you can go through that, and then we're going to try and shoot for within the month that we'll start getting started and everything, and we could go check out field sites and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then stress level with your sister, I question that because I didn't know where you fall with that, with the time frame. Because if we keep this up with just the volunteering, then it's kind of, we're just going to coast along and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do that, then I think by the time you get more secure with food, which would probably be within, I was thinking anywhere to 2 months, then that stress level will just keep kind of going down a little bit. What do you think? Where do you stand with that?
I was hoping that once I, like you said, get settled in, find a parish I like volunteering at that works consistently with my schedule, if I can, excuse me, get in there and I like my placement and I begin to be a little more secure with food, hopefully I could sit down with my sister and tell her, this is what's been going on. I don't want you to worry or change your career because we're good now.
Oh, that's great. Do you mind if I'm going to write that in really quick?
Yeah, I just tell her we just needed a little something extra and the volunteering was the perfect fit for that.
Yeah.
And just hopefully her reaction will be more calm than maybe like 2.5 weeks ago before I met with you. Now that some better things have happened and come our way, hopefully she'll be willing to keep the night shifts and keep things as they are and just know that we just needed that little extra thing and the volunteering provides that.
Great.
So that's, I think, like...
Sounds really good. Seems like you kind of got everything panned out the way that you wanted to.
Yeah, that would be my goal, I think.
All right, great. So then this is our plan, and I'll make a copy for you when we head out.
Sure.
So we'll just go over one more time together. Our problems right now were the food and clothing assistance, as well as just the stress level, the confidentiality. Our goals are just to get stabilized with it, have the right meals, nutritious, and the quality that we mentioned before. And for your sister, just kind of go about the volunteering, see where we stand with that. Action steps, you kind of already took them. So we'll just start getting ready with the volunteering and enroll you guys into that. And then also with your sister, we're going to see how the volunteering goes, and then we'll plan accordingly. So right now, that's not our main priority. As you said, the food and clothing assistance was a little bit more significant right now. So we're going to focus on that first. And maybe if we get that, then everything else will fall into place or fall how it should be. How will the outcomes be measured? We're just, I guess everything kind of, we're just going to see how it all goes. How about that? And then 3-4 weeks to 2 months. So I think within this duration, we'll be able to get a few things settled, or if any questions come up, we'll be able to attack that when the time being. What do we think? Good?
I think that's a great plan.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to sign this just so we know that we talked about it.
Sure.
And if you want to sign it too, and the date is, let's see, 17th. Hopefully the weather clears up by this weekend. Awesome. So the next meeting, we'll start getting started. When do you think you want to come back in? Because if this is our week, I remember last time you mentioned that you want to kind of get started before it gets idle.
Do you think I should wait until I've been placed and maybe try 1 or 2 weeks there, or when is a good time frame to meet again?
So I think I'm going to start contacting them, and then I'll give you the list on the way out about the names and resources. So if you want to reach out to them, and after you figure out your schedule, then get back to me what you planned on doing. And we'll probably say within the next 2 weeks, maybe you checked out a few of them with the kids. You can come back and tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. What the kids liked and didn't like as well, and which was easier.
Yeah.
Because I know that you can definitely walk to Temple Beth. It's a little bit with this weather. Could go either ways, or you can go to St. John's and take the bus and hop right on and off. So that's up to you. So do you want to shoot for maybe 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah,
Is
that
that
sounds good? Yeah.
Cool. So 2 to 3 weeks we'll meet again, and then we'll kind of discuss and see where this all goes. Maybe your husband's promotion will kind of be in full swing, and things will be different with your sister, and we'll just kind of figure that need be. Is that good?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any other questions for me?
I think my only question would be: have you heard of any instances or experienced any instances where like a parish like fills up or caps their volunteers, like if they have too many, and then I'd have to? Does that happen often? Or?
So that is a question. We've kind of got that a lot in this agency as well. But the good thing about, I know that working hands-on with St. John's and Temple Beth is like you're going to do probably within the next 2 weeks, call, kind of get it in, and now you're on the list.
Okay. All right.
So in a way, you'll be able to need to call before, or you could say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to come at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Or Tuesday, Thursday, I'm coming at 1. So by there, they have you on the schedule.
Okay.
Do they fill up? Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of the people that are volunteering are kind of trying to get some things on the way out as well, as well as just helping, and it might fit into their schedule too. So definitely I would call in advance, and then I'm going to do some calling on my end. But if you want to figure out your schedule first, and then we'll go about that.
Yeah, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Did that answer that?
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
You think you're all good?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So then I'm going to scan this for you, print that out, and then give you our list of the local resources, and we'll figure it out from there. And you have the number for this place as well, and then just call me with your schedule, and maybe I'll plan something out too.
Sure.
And hopefully, I looked at the weather within the next week, everything will be cleared up, which will kind of open up your options to go to either or place and check that out.
That would be great.
Cool. We're all good. So then I will see you in about 2-3 weeks.
Sure.
Awesome. I'll see you later.
Thank you very much.
No problem.